And now, another episode of MMA Gossip with your boys.
Boom. We're live, baby. Episode number 58. MMA Gossip. We're back. That's it. Bellator 256, fucking UFC Vegas 23, Mighty Mouse getting knocked out in one, Eddie Alvarez getting DQ'd, Jorge Masvidal's talking shit, John Jones is fat. Shit is going down. Like we always say, MMA news never fucking stops, so we'll never stop putting out episodes. You know what to do. Like, comment, subscribe. Help the boys out. Views are going up. Follow us on all of our socials at MMAX Gossip. Mike is on a Twitter takeover right now, going off. Content's going up. We're out here. Matt Rather's in San Diego getting more chopped than he usually is. And we're still producing content for you guys on a fucking Friday. So that's it. Mike, bring us through. I don't know what we want to start with, whether UFC, Bellator, I guess, because it's like starting in a couple hours.
Let's start with how much we all love Aljamain Sterling post Peter Yan. Let's just talk about how well he's doing with the PR and everything. How do you guys think he's doing?
I don't think you do worse, bro.
Yeah, literally, dude.
It's bad.
I never went from wanting to defend somebody to fuck him so fast.
I know. Granted, as soon as the knee happened and he did that, acting 101 class, from that moment, I was like, I've lost a lot of respect for him.
Yep.
So you're just a little bit late to the party, but
I know. Because, dude, I was so biased. I was like, he was in my top three. And how many times did I say that? I loved him. Like, I was really on board. I thought he was I thought he was being not underappreciated, I guess a little bit, but I think he should have fought for a title sooner. And now he's, the F word a little bit.
What's bigger, Matt's bias when he bets on fighters or the list of people in this top three?
Matt's bias is.
Well, I like to do it by an active top three and then like an all time, to be fair. It's always changing. Like, fuck Robbie Lawler now.
Yeah. I feel that too, because I change up my top three every week too.
Bro, it's hard when Robbie Lawler hasn't won a fight since 2015. It's hard to be like, yeah, dude, I love him.
Dude, mine are pretty consistent. I got to give it to us. Frankie Edgar, my favorite fighter of all time, Frankie Edgar, is still active. Chris Weidman is still active somehow, and TJ Dillashaw is back in the mix, baby.
Yeah, I gotta say, Dan Henderson is all time my favorite. I mean, love him, dude. Chris Weidman's up there too, but as of late, man, it's hard to watch him fight. But all right, guys, let's talk. Let's talk about Mighty Mouse. Let's talk about Mighty Mouse's first and only finished. It was a knee that he was actually advocating for not too long ago. Right, he was saying it should be a universal rule in mixed martial arts, knees to a grounded opponent. He obviously got up the wrong way. The knee was right there for the taking, and he fucking took it. What do you guys think about that?
I was thinking about this. Do you think part of it was like he was? I don't want to use the word unaware, but like he fought in the UFC for so long. He's probably like, I could get up like this, and all of a sudden, then he's in the first row.
It's a fair point.
You think some of it was just him being lackadaisical? Because I don't think he was that hurt to the point to throw his defense out the window and just try to stand up.
I agree. I think that he kind of misread the situation. Well, he got rocked. Like, he got clipped, got dropped. And I think he misread the situation, was doing a regular stand-up you would do if knees to a grounded opponent was against the rules, and then he paid for it.
So what was the odds on that? Because for some reason, I can never find one championship odds.
Neither can I, but I know the guy was at least a plus 400.
They were all over the place because I saw maybe they just closed real fucking fast, because when the event started, Mighty Mouse was minus 1,100. And then on the broadcast, they said he was minus like 600. And then when I looked right before the broadcast, he was minus like 850. So it went from 1,100 to 850 to whatever. I saw Moraes was like plus 800, and then on the broadcast they said plus 450 or plus 400 or something. So it must have really shrunk right before the event or something. All I know is I believe in ONE FC's fucking weigh-ins as much as I believe in Santa Claus.
Those are those weigh-ins are bullshit. Number one. Number two, don't they say that they make sure they water test them, hydrate test them? That's bullshit, dude. That guy's like he looked like three weight classes bigger than Mighty Mouse. There's no way.
If I just blindly bet on DJ like I do with everything, and then I saw that fight happening, I'd be like, damn, I fucked up.
Yeah.
You guys, let's move on to Eddie Alvarez getting that bullshit DQ. Not much to say here other than the fact that he got robbed, and I really hope that they eventually overturn it.
Yeah, I think they have to. And I'm not saying that it's fucked up because I also agree with DJ. I like down knees like that. But to say that that's okay and then stop the Eddie fight to me is just so like insane. Like, first of all, the only reason he was getting hit in the back of the head is because he turned his own head. Like, you know what? Like, it wasn't even, the guy was out for the count, in my opinion. I thought Eddie was going to finish him regardless. The guy turned his head off but like, you can't tell me one's more dangerous than the other. It's just like fucking DJ was unconscious. The other guy was getting tapped. Like, they weren't even hard shots. Eddie just has he always does this shit though. He's always involved in something.
That shit though, the punches really weren't. Some of them landed behind the head. That was like one of the softest. Like, honestly, if that was in like any fight, any MMA promotion, that is a soft stand up, pointed up. Never mind a DQ. Like, that is soft, bro. I don't know. I'm gutted for Eddie on that one. That hurts. I wanted to see Eddie should just fight for the belt anyway. Like, he was dominating the fight, won the fight. Don't get fucking your legs finger forward with your head against the cage. If you know what I mean,
right?
And then win the fight. It's fucking crazy to me.
Yeah, rough spot for him, especially when you saw him crying out back. You saw him leaning over the railing. He was crying. Like, you hate to see that shit, man.
Yeah, he's been through a lot of
this
shit.
is his life, man.
I think one will do right by him, though.
I hope so. They've been good to him thus
far. He's one of the bigger stars. He's one of the more known presences in America. So, I think they'll take care of him.
Question for both of you. I was meant to ask that, and I didn't, and Matt brought it up. Do you think that they want to promote Eddie and Mighty Mouse more because they're so well known in America and like Sage Northcutt and those people? Or do you think that it's better for Mighty Mouse to get knocked out because now one's getting talked about way more? If Mighty Mouse won that fight, I feel like one wouldn't be nearly as, every Twitter account, every, reporter, media member was posting that Mighty Mouse got knocked out. And the video was all over the place. If Mighty Mouse would have won that fight by decision like he always fucking does, or even if he won by stoppage, I don't think it would have gotten half of the coverage it did.
I completely agree. And I think it's great for one that happened because one, you could still market DJ the exact same way. And the first time he gets finished, it's not in the UFC. Like, that's, it's something you really hang your hat on if that's your promotion. You know what I mean? I think nothing but positive can come from it. And I even saw a Bleacher Report put out a push notification. I never get Bleacher Report push notifications unless it's about one championships event, like starting up, because they stream it. I never get highlights from them at all. So I think it speaks for itself.
Chris, that's crazy. I never even thought about that, but I really do believe that's this one event is gonna ripples through the mixed martial arts community, and even for casuals to be like, wow, look, Mighty Mouse, he was dominant over there in the UFC, gets knocked out. It definitely sends waves more than if he had won a decision.
Also, I don't want this guy to go unnoticed because I haven't stopped watching him all week. Dude, Rod Tang is sick. He's the man.
Who the hell is that?
He was Asia's main event. Oh, that's what Chris was explaining in the chat.
Go ahead, Chris. Sorry, he does like Muay Thai fights in the cage. He's just an absolute savage. I can't even pronounce his first name. It starts with a J. It's like Rod Tang. He's the dude you've seen him do. Dude, he'll just eat punches. He'll walk forward, eat punches, and does like the shimmy. Like that video that went viral. He's just an absolute savage. He's on a pretty long win streak, and he's super young too. He's younger than we are. Yeah, and he just goes in there and just destroys people with huge. Dude, walks forward, has a granite chin, and just lands bombs on people. Super exciting. I think he usually knocks people out with his big fucking winging hooks. Basically walks forward, just lands big powerful shots. But it seemed this fight, one thing he was emphasizing was his elbows, and his opponent, I forget the dude's name, from Australia, he was walking forward and just cutting him up with elbows, dropped him in the second round. I wish those fights were longer. It just doesn't seem that 3 rounds just seems too short for that. You know what I mean?
Dude, yeah, he's the shit. Mike, I just sent you 2 highlights of him from one's account on the MMA account. You got to watch him. I saw you. Honestly, that was like I kind of tuned into the card to see what was good with him, because up until this week, I saw the video that they put out of him like walking forward with his arms out, just getting belted in the face. I was like, yo, who is this fucking lunatic?
Oh, you never heard of him before that?
I really didn't know. So when I watched him this weekend, I was pumped to see him for the first. That's why I kept asking in the chat, what's up with Rodtang? Where does he fight? Because I did not want to miss him.
Yeah, it's cool because he's like I was gonna say a gentle giant, but he's really small, so he's not a giant. But a warrior basically in the cage, and he's just such a fucking animal. Like once the cage shuts, he really flips that switch. Outside the cage, he's super calm. I think it's his dad that has like cancer. It's like like real bad. And in those Asian countries, they don't have what we got over here. So he like tends to his dad and shit, sits at his bedside, and then just go trains like that. And, in the evenings, basically.
Oh, he's got a new fan as of this week.
What a life, man! That's incredible.
Yeah, he's a beast. But
moving forward, we got Bellator 256 tonight. Chrissy Bellator, run us through the important matchups and tell me why I'm putting $40 on Lyoto Machida to defeat Ryan Bader.
All right. Well, Bellator 256. It's the light heavyweight Grand Prix. Now, I love these Grand Prix. They're fucking sweet. This one I feel like is not as much of a the one for the featherweight is like the Grand Prix. I was way more hyped for the featherweight Grand Prix than I even was for the heavyweight Grand Prix. And this one even less so. Oh, no, this one's probably better than the heavyweight. Anyways, for the first matchup is the ex-champ Ryan Bader taking on Lyoto Machida. Everyone's trying to get back at Nemkov, Bader being one of them, since that's who he lost his fucking belt to in brutal fashion. But it's a rematch, a UFC rematch in classic Bellator fashion. Main event is a past their prime UFC fight. Ryan Bader trying to avenge his loss to Lyoto Machida. Coming in at 27-6. I'm looking at the records now. 26-10 for Machida. Interesting. Machida's what now? Like 40 fucking 3 at least. Bader's getting up there too. He's no spring chicken, but past champ. Why are you betting on Lyoto Machida, Mike? If I had to guess, I would say it's because Bader just was not that good in the UFC, kind of gave up in fights, was always known as like couldn't make it over that hill type of fighter. Went to Bellator, went on a tear, and people thought him as this destroyer now, and the odds got fucking beefed up in his favor, and Lyoto Machida can totally fucking win this fight. I feel like if he gets taken down early, it's not going to go well, but especially because Bader's been at heavyweight more recently. But
that was my actually. I don't mean to interrupt you, but that's my question for you, actually, because I'm not like, how do you expect Machida to do against Bader's takedowns?
I mean, he did pretty well against Chael Sonnen, but that's a lot different.
Yeah.
I want to see what Bader's got at 205 now, because I mean, at heavyweight, he's looked amazing.
Yo, is it 5 or 3 rounds for this main event?
It should be 5. But
42, by the way, I just looked it up for you.
What'd you say?
42.
43, and it was just a guess. Yeah. Being it's a title fight, they should be 5-minute rounds. But yeah, so I think the plus money, because the line is so big for Machida, he just went to the distance with Phil Davis and looked pretty, you know what I mean? Not too fucking bad either. So
yeah, split decision, I think.
That's what it was. So that's what I mean. And Phil Davis, obviously a fucking wrestler, and his striking's not even as good as Ryan Bader's. So, but you get it. His wrestling's better and his striking's not as good, is what I was going for. Anyway, that's kind of sort of it, except one more big fight that I'll bring up. The co-main event, it's not this fight. The flyweight feature fight, aka the co-main event, is Liz Carmouche taking on Vanessa Porto. You know what you're getting with Liz Carmouche. I don't need to fucking explain it. This is the fight of the card. Adam Borix taking on Jeremy Kennedy. I don't know why it's flying so far under the radar. These guys are beasts. Jeremy Kennedy was like, I think 3, maybe even 4-0 in the UFC, and then ran into Alexander Volkanovski, the fucking champion, lost by TKO and got cut, which is fucking crazy. His record is like 16 or 18-2. He's been on a tear, looking real good as of late. Bellator's promoting him really well. And then you got Adam Borix coming in, opened as the favorite, then was the underdog, then was the favorite. I think he's back as the dog now. I think his most famous fights were losing to Darren Caldwell and and knocking out Aaron Pico, which was wild. Flying knee, Masvidal fucking style. Must be something down there in Florida. He's training at a Sanford MMA with Henry Hooft and those guys, and he's got a great ground game also, coming in at 16-1. His only loss coming in the featherweight Grand Prix. So this fight is honestly, it's such a fucking toss-up. That's why the line is going so far back and forth. It's like, honestly, I would bet on whoever the fuck is plus money, because this is a coin flip, you know? So if you
I don't even think you're going to end up getting plus money here. I think it's going to stay like 105, 105.
There you go. Yeah, I mean, Adam Bork's opening at minus 175 is pretty crazy, but
that's how he opened?
He opened at minus 175. And I think smart, Sharps or whatever the fuck it is, I'm not a handicapper like half of the MMA Twitter is, jumped on Jeremy Kennedy real quick, and rightfully so. So that fight is the fight to watch. Kat Zingano's back on this card, which is just, I read an article yesterday that was basically like Kat Zingano doing her best to stay relevant in MMA. And I was like, that's not the headline you're going for. You know what I mean? It's like, that's like her ceiling basically is staying relevant now in Bellator. I love Kat, so I'm not hating on her, but she's just way over the hill at this point. And it sucks, but I mean, I'll be tuned in, obviously. Then we got Gordy Yamauchi taking on Dan Moret. Gordy Yamauchi making weight for the first time, and it feels like 15 years. He's good when he's in there. He just got to make weight and fucking show up. So we'll see. And then, honestly, after that, the card tapers off big time. There's really nothing of note on this card. Cody Law, I guess. Bellator likes him. He's 2-0.
How's this John Duma guy? I just bet on
him. That's who I don't even know. I don't know who the fuck that is.
I don't know. He's the first fight on the card, though.
John Duma. I don't even know who it is. But, yeah, Cody Law is probably the only other person that Bellator would even try to push, really, in this spot. Yeah, and that's it, boys. Bellator 256, somewhat thin compared to 255, but it just feels good to have Bellator back in action, dude,
Oh, yeah.
All right, guys. 2 weeks out. Haven't had UFC in a while. Coming back on ABC, early card, 12 o'clock Eastern start time. We got Marvin, the Italian Dream, Vittori, taking on late replacement, who other than Big Mouth himself, Kevin Holland, about 3 weeks removed from his shit performance against Derek Brunson. Let's talk about this one first. Fuck it. Guys, plus 275 on Kevin Holland. If the fight with Brunson never happened, the line would be a hell of a lot closer.
Yep.
Let's just put it this way. Kevin Holland is a serious striker, but he gives up the takedowns very easily. But then again, Marvin Vittori doesn't really go for takedowns all that much. There's track record. He mostly likes to bang. Who's got this, guys?
Yo, I'm going with Holland, man. I'm trying to block out that Brunson fight, and I know he came out after that, and he was saying, like, this is me. I don't give a fuck about winning. I'm always just going to talk shit. I'm here to have fun. That's great and all, but I'm not buying it. 2, I don't even think he's buying it. I think that he was caught in a situation that he hasn't really been in before, and I think he didn't know how to handle it. And when I say situation, I think even in the main event, I think he went a little fucking crazy, man. I think that there was a learning experience for him. I think he took a long, hard look in the mirror. And while he's probably going to run his mouth in there and all that shit, I think he still wants to win fights. Like, I don't think he's going to come out here and after winning 5 in 2020, he's just going to start falling off a cliff and rattling off a bunch of losses. Like, I don't know. I expect more out of him. I'm not saying I expect him to fight for the belt or be a champion, but I don't want him to be one of those guys that gets stuck ranked 10 to 15 his whole career. I think he's better than that. And I think he knows he's better than that. And if Marvin's going to just try to stand and bang with him, I think Marvin could have a little bit of a problem. If Marvin does decide to start wrestling, which is definitely a possibility if he's getting outstruck, then we have a problem again, because Holland's takedown defense is pathetic. And his ability to get up is also just as pathetic. I don't know if I have to watch him body lock from the bottom for 5 more rounds tomorrow night, I'll be pretty upset. But as of now, I'm going Holland.
I think that the odds on this are, one, obviously short notice. I don't think Kevin Holland's too worried about that. Kevin Holland's takedown defense is pretty bad, and I think that Vittori knows it's that bad, and I think he's going to use that to his advantage. He just beat Jack Hermanson, who obviously is a takedown specialist. Prior to that, he took on Carl Roberson, and I think Roberson missed weight, right? He was 190 pounds. I think maybe even more than that. So that's a big difference when Kevin Holland was just talking 2-3 weeks ago about going to 170, and now you're fighting a 185er who's essentially beating light heavyweights in the cage. So that is a big difference. Vettori does have a great ground game. On the ground, Kevin Holland is super knowledgeable. Like I think the reason he's on his back so often is because he feels comfortable there. Like there was times where it looked like he was giving the takedown up to retain his guard. And it's just, I don't know really what he was going for in that last fight. That was I don't want to say I don't know. I hope it was a fluke performance. Let's put it that way. I do see why the odds are so far in Vettori's favor, although I do think they're big. 2.5 to 1. I would like bet on Vettori at that, but any more than that, I would just take a stab at Holland for the money.
Yeah, I'm still gonna pick Vettori, but I just think like if we're talking about like percentages here, I do think the value's on Kevin Holland, but I don't think I'm gonna take a stab. Matt, you take that. All right, I think people's main event, the fight I'm most excited for, co-main here, Arnold Allen, undefeated in the UFC, 7-0, low key, man, in the UFC. Going against the Nigeria train, taking over the UFC here. Also undefeated in the UFC. I think 4-0, 5-0 if you want to include the Contender Series. Super Sadiq Youssef. Matt, where's your money going?
Dude, I don't know. This is so hard. Isn't the line like even?
It's very close, yeah.
Yeah, I don't know. I think I'm unfortunately going to go Youssef. I think he's going to have a speed advantage in there. And he's going to land the bigger shots, but it's so close, man. I like Arnold Allen. I feel like I haven't seen enough of him yet. It's such a hard fight to analyze. I don't know, Chris, what do you think?
I like Arnold Allen a lot here, dude. I think that he's really well-rounded and he's getting that, that like, I don't know if it's British, what the fuck push is he getting? Like the English push. They seem to be on a tear lately, and I think that he's doing big things. I think that he's in his past performances, he's beaten strikers like Gilbert Melendez, who also has a good ground game, and then guys like Nick Lentz, who are all over takedowns. You know what I mean? So he's shown his well-rounded game. I think that Youssef has a super well-rounded game too, but Youssef has looked a little bit more, I guess, questionable in some of his performances, where I think Arnold has shown he's well-rounded. He's got everything everywhere.
That's fair. I think that it would benefit Arnold to get into some grappling exchanges, maybe wrestle a bit and just mix it up. I think that it would be to his detriment if he just decided to stand and box with him for 3 rounds. Because I do really believe that Youssef is the better puncher in the pocket, and I think he definitely hits harder, and I think he's definitely faster. So I think he'd be fighting a losing battle. I think the way to get inside is to start wrestling. I think we've really seen Arnold Allen excel there, and I think we should see a little bit tomorrow night. Otherwise, I think it's a wrap for him. I don't know. I think I'm shocked we're on different sides of the fence here.
You're with Youssef 100%.
Yeah,
sorry, Mike, I didn't mean to cut you off, but
okay.
You know how I am with experience too. I just think that who was it? Feely that Youssef just beat, and we all thought he lost.
Yeah,
right? I thought he did at least, right?
I don't know. I got to rewatch that fight. I just did rewatch it. I changed my mind. I think Youssef won.
Yeah, no, I rewatched it as well, and I thought Youssef won. But watching it live, Chris, you're right. It was very, very close, and I think I put money on Feely, and I was a little biased, and I thought he won. But rewatching it, I did think Sadiq definitely edged it out. I am split on this fight, and the only reason I'm going to go with Arnold Allen here is because the dude's got tremendous heart. Like I rewatched his, I think the second or third fight when he was going against Mads Burnell, who's actually a really good fighter. He's not with the UFC anymore. I'm not really sure why. He's very good. He beat the shit out of Arnold Allen for 2 rounds. And then in that third round, it looked like he was cruising for a decision, 30-27 for Mads Burnell. And then Arnold Allen put in this front choke that was tight, nasty. And Burnell tapped quicker than fucking, I don't know, who taps quick. Who taps quick?
Well, everyone says McGregor does, but
no.
Definitely not Tony Ferguson.
No, someone definitely taps quick. Whatever. Anyway, he tapped mad quick, and I was like, "Damn, that's a tight choke." So he's the most one of the most well-rounded fighters I've ever seen, and he's got Zahabi in his corner, if I'm not mistaken, Chris, right?
Yeah. So I'm sitting here like this, thinking who taps quick. And you caught me off guard. I'm like literally thinking like,
who did Aspinall just fight? Oh,
he taps quick. That was a quick tap. No, but I have a lot of faith in Zahabi. I know a lot of people kind of rip on him because, I mean, I really don't find a reason to do that, but I know a lot of people really don't think highly of him. I do, and he's in Arnold Allen's corner. I just think if it comes down to heart and grit and will, which I think it is going to come down to that, I think Arnold Allen can edge him there, and that's the only reason I'm going to pick him.
Two things. One, to add on to this, also, I just think that Arnold Allen has fought, like I said, Gilbert Melendez, Nick Lentz, he's fighting these veterans. Like, I'm big on fighting, like taking that experience from them. He was been in there with Gilbert Melendez, saw Gilbert's tricks. Nick Lentz saw his tricks. You know what I mean? So guys like that, when you're in there, just like Sean Brady was talking about this, these veterans have their tricks, you know, and what's his name? Just Joe Slucky was just saying how Jim Miller has these tricks, you know, like veterans just have their tricks. And once you're in there and you see it, it's just more, you know, add it to the fucking list. I think that Arnold Allen could get more takeaways from his past opponents than Yusuf can. And didn't Sage Northcutt tap to a fucking arm triangle from full guard or some shit, or at least half guard?
No, full mount, I think.
Oh, full mount. Yeah, he's a pussy, dude.
Which is bad. That's bad. Yeah, it's a bad look.
What was that one choke that we saw where the guy tapped to a guillotine from side control?
TJ Brown, and actually he's on this card, Jordan Griffin.
Yeah.
Yeah, I remember that was like, whoa.
That was wild.
He went unconscious.
Yeah. And then we got Jordan Griffin on the podcast. He's like, I don't know, man. I do it all the time.
It's like TJ Brown was circling the wrong way, tighter into the choke.
Dude.
Yeah, I mean,
go ahead.
dude, I'm looking at this card. There's a lot of fights on here I could talk about.
I know, yeah. Let's talk about definitely a few more before we close out. Let's talk about real quick Mackenzie Dern, Nina Ansaroff, Nina Nunez, whatever you want to call her.
Yeah, dude, I heard them talking to Nina Nunez. I'm like, that's so fucking funny.
I love it, though. I love Nina Nunez. It's a great little fucking.
I also saw someone on MMA Twitter say that this is a battle of the MILFs, and I was like, whoa. Pump the brakes.
Mackenzie's like beautiful, though.
Yeah.
But Nina Ansaroff,
I'm going with Nina. I think she's going to beat the fuck out of her.
You think Mackenzie's going to beat the fuck out of her?
Oh, I'm going with Nina.
Oh, with Nina? Really? 100%. I'm actually on Mackenzie here.
Really?
Yeah, I just think that she actually hits hard. And if it somehow goes to the ground, she has a huge advantage. I don't think it's going to go there. But I just think like in these women's MMA fights, man, I feel like the power is more important than the skill level as opposed to mixed martial arts where it's like skill is like definitely where you want to be. But with the girl fight, man, sometimes you could just bully these girls around. These girls just bully other girls around.
Tell that to what's her name? Fucking, you know exactly what I'm talking about. She's
like,
out of her.
Tell that to what's her name?
Dude, now it's gonna fucking bother. The other really young girl tore her ACL.
Oh, Base Barber.
Yeah, when she tried to bully Alexa Grasso, who was fighting a weight class up and literally could not get her to the ground.
You know what scares me with Mackenzie Dern is when she fought Hannah Cyphers was like bullying her on the feet.
Yeah, that was weird.
That was weird. It looked like Hannah Cyphers had a significant strength advantage. I was like,
Mackenzie Dern just hits hard, but her striking overall is not good.
No, it's not good.
She hits hard because she does like a windmill punch from her fucking knee.
And on top of that, we have a few question marks about Nina, you know, post having a kid, hasn't fought in 3 years. Is her timing going to be right? Not a little bit of ring rust. I just feel like there's a lot of question marks about her. Mackenzie's been more active. She's taking training seriously. She's got a huge badonkadonk. Maybe
scissoring Nunez will fucking help her out in this fight.
And there goes 5 subscribers minimum.
No, they're awesome. You see what Kevin Holland said? Like, I'm only joking. I'm not fucking hating. They're awesome. They're a power couple. Like, dude, they could. If I had a girl, if I had a fucking boyfriend, they could beat the shit out of me and my fucking boyfriend. You know what I mean? Like,
broke into their house, he would get fucked up by the two.
That's what I mean. Like, dude, like if me and one of you guys fought both of them, we would get fucked up.
Dude, they'd be scissoring on the guy's dead body.
Amazing.
All right.
Moving on.
Next up, we got to talk about Mike Perry and D-Rod.
Of course.
Bro, dude, I can't. Mike Perry hasn't knocked somebody out since 2017.
Dude, Mike Perry sucks.
Mike Perry was training with his girlfriend for the past 2 fights.
That being said, I think I'm going to take Mike Perry here.
I am too. I think D-Rod is kind of like not that great.
No.
Perry's underdog, right?
Perry's underdog, yeah.
Yeah. But
Matt,
Daniel Rodriguez knock out fucking Tim Means like a rite of passage at this point.
dude, there was a point in time where Matt rather, you were huge on Mike Perry. You loved
Mike Perry. Now I think he's crazy.
Well, that's a fact. Well, maybe he's got dad strength now. Who the fuck knows? But what's your guys' take on D-Rod? Like, if you had to give an overall assessment of him, what would it be? If you had to describe him to a casual fan, what would you say?
Overachiever.
Opportunistic.
That's what I'm saying, bro. Like,
bro, Dwight Grant had him finished and he just rallied. Beating Gabriel Green, okay, big fucking whoop.
Exactly.
Subbing Tim Means, again, I don't care. Tim Means was dead. And you lost to Nicholas Dalby.
But that he won that fight, dude. Dalby didn't win that fight.
You're right.
Yeah, no, I agree. But he also didn't do enough.
Right, but okay, so that I wanted to see what you guys were both going to say because Mike Perry is an underachiever and Rodriguez is an overachiever. You know what I mean? Yeah. So this fight just seems like one of those where it's going to be a 3-round fight. They're both going to be, someone's nose is going to be fucked up and it's going to be in the 3rd round. And Mike Perry in all of those fights just seems to fucking lose a decision. You know what I mean?
I'm gonna just give Perry the benefit of the doubt one last time. He says he's a chain fighter, whatever. He gave that whole spiel. He's got a full camp. He's actually at a camp. And I'm just going to say this is his last chance, in my opinion. If he sucks again here, I'm off his train. Not that there's even a train to be on. I'll just be like, all right, I'm not that excited to watch Mike Perry fight anymore.
I'll always be excited to watch Mike Perry. Dude, he gets mad views on YouTube just because he says outlandish shit.
Dude, if you look at his Sherdog, it is a lot of red. I mean, he's due for a win, technically, judging off of his record, how it goes. Win, loss. Win, loss.
At MMA Masters for this.
Yeah.
So I saw my goat shed too.
So I mean, like, he's got a family to provide for. Maybe that clicks something in his head, and he's, taking it more serious. You like to see that. I mean, dude, he's been in there with he almost beat Luque, right? He beat Felder. Like these are legit performances.
Yeah, probably a broken arm.
And if he was not training at all for the last 2 fights, other than hitting pads with his girlfriend, and he still beat the shit out of Mickey Gall, which doesn't really mean much. But then he still had a toe-to-toe battle with Tim Means. Like now he's actually training. Like who knows?
Actually training
for actually taking his job seriously.
Shit.
Dude, I don't know what to make of him either because he missed weight in his last fight. He always says he has such a hard weight cut. He says he can be at 185 before you know it. Last night he put up a video of him eating a cookie and then eating like a rib sandwich. I'm like, bro. He also did the same thing as last fight and then missed weight. Like, I get it. It's funny. You want to be controversial. You want to get people to talk about you because like, oh shit, he's eating cookies before the weigh-in. Then don't miss weight by 5 pounds, you dickhead. You know
Did he make weight today?
Huh?
Did he make weight this morning?
Yeah.
All right, good. Yeah, I missed the weigh-ins today.
We got to
talk about Selecki, right? I mean,
of course, dude. I was waiting for you guys. Yeah, I'm ready for that.
I think he's gonna finish. I think he's gonna submit Jim Miller. I'm calling it,
dude. That's my hope so bad. I think that'd be so cool for him to do that.
I think he's 100% going to. Nope, but I'm very confident he's gonna submit Jim Miller.
Bro, Dana White, you know how he does those. If you don't know now, you know things. He did one he brought the main event, he was going through it, and then he started talking about Jim Miller, most finishes, most this, all his records, fights in the UFC, this, that, the other thing. And then he goes, then you got Joe Selecki, who's just a younger version of himself, who wants to see if he could take that flame and be like a real true prospect in the UFC. And if you don't know, now you know. And I was like, holy shit, he literally set that up to promote the fuck out of Selecki. You know what I mean? And they're headlining the prelims, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
They're not headlining the prelims with Joe Selecki to lose to Jim Miller. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
I agree, Chris.
And pretty crazy fact, I grew up with a guy in the mountain club where I used to live in an apartment complex. His name is Amr, A-M-R, and he trains at where Jim Miller's, where his gym is. And he also used to work at a part-time job as a bartender at Zinburger. And I ran into him, and this was a couple of years ago, and he was saying this was a couple of years ago. He goes, yeah, Jim Miller doesn't take fighting seriously anymore, which makes sense because he's a 1-round fighter, man. Like the last time he won a fight that went past the first round, look it up. It's been years. So if it goes past the first round, and Joe Selecki's pretty much a lock. And then I got inside information telling me that Jim Miller doesn't take his training seriously. I mean, he had love handles in his last fight.
Yeah, that's true. And maybe just the one thing that might have been during the time when he had Lyme's disease.
Yeah,
True.
that's true. That's very true. I can't count that out. He's a warrior for you pushing through. I mean, he's still a savage, man. Hall of Famer, first ballot, no doubt. I just think that this is Selecki's fight, man.
Yeah.
I think it's a good fight to talk about. Ooh, low key. I think.
Wait, can I guess what you're going to say?
I know what you're going to say.
Go ahead.
I was going to say the Jack Shore fight.
I think I'm big on Jack.
Dude, I think that might be my lock. I'm just staring at it. Hunter was losing to Kelleher before landing on him in like the third round.
No, Kelleher.
You're right. Yeah, other way around. I remember. Now I remember because I lost the fucking bet.
I actually think Hunter is really good. But
his striking is striking solid.
And he hits hard he gasses and he hits hard as fuck. But I think that Jack Shore is real deal. I think he's been on the perfect trajectory, and this is the next perfect step for him. It's going to be a big win for him, and I think he's going to finish him too.
Yeah,
dude,
I agree.
We have 2 former interviews in the podcast on this card.
Dope. We're fucking savages.
Jordan Griffin and Selecki. Also, would you rather get hit by a fucking Prius or do Oklahoma drills with William Knight?
Get hit by
Oklahoma drills.
I'd rather get hit by a fucking car, I think.
Would you rather have William Knight lay on your stomach with all his weight, or have your dad drag his nutsack across your face?
My dad drags nuts.
Oh my God. Would you rather? Never mind.
Hold on. I got another hot take. I think Mateus Gamrot is going to beat the shit out of Scott Haltman.
Fuck him up. It's another one of my locks.
Bro, Jorgen De Castro coming in at -315. Dude, he's a fucking fat slob.
William Knight is an underdog to Daong Young.
Daong Jung. Stop being racist.
Dude, I wasn't racist. I thought that's who say his name.
I know, Matt. Everything's racist now.
Also, one thing we did not know, which is fucked up. This is during the day, boys.
Oh, yeah. 12 noon.
Oh, wait, what time? So what time is it on here? 9 a.m.?
The prelim started at 11 a.m., so it's 8 a.m. your time, and the main card starts at 3.
Matt,
it's on ESPN Plus, and then ESPN Plus or ESPN, and then the main card at 3 is on ABC, baby.
Wow, I'm jazzed. I didn't know that. I'm going to be drinking on the beach watching fights.
Noon, bro, noon. The main card will start where you are right now.
I think that Julian Marquez, this is the last one. I think he's going to beat the shit out of Sam Alvey. The only reason I'm bringing this fight up is because I also think he should be a bigger favorite.
Isn't that
what?
Oh, shit. I thought you froze, Chris. You literally were a statue for a
No,
second.
I'm thinking because when Dana said at 3, now I'm thinking is he talking about in West Coast time? Because why the fuck would they make it so early in
Let me check real quick. Hold up.
I think he's talking about it might be I don't know.
They always say in Eastern Standard Time, though.
Yeah, but
11:30 Eastern time.
I was right. Okay, that's what I thought. I was like, I just questioned myself for a second because I was like, damn, that is really early because they're a West Coast based company. So like that's why the pay-per-view started at 10 for us because it's 7 there. So I'm like, damn, Matt, if Matt's on the West Coast, like they're literally like 8:30 a.m. is fight time on the West Coast. I wouldn't mind that, bro. Wake up on a Saturday, start drink a coffee, watch some fights, and then for the main card, you start slamming beers.
Hell yeah.
Not opposed.
But I'm definitely not opposed, bro. I'm pumped up. Bellator tonight. After my jiu-jitsu seminar, I'll be planted on the couch drinking beers, watching Bellator by my fucking self. Tomorrow, wake up, watch fights, drinking beers by my fucking self.
That made my day.
Yeah, bro.
Get it.
Also, the first fight of the night is the first time in MMA gossip history we all had the same lock. He got knocked out so bad he was on the receiving end of the best KO in UFC history.
Something we would never, ever, ever see again in that exact order. Never.
He's a 3-1 favorite.
He's gonna win. Sasha Palatnikov.
I mean, that is a career-changing KO, though. Like your chin is never the same.
What'd you say, Matt?
I hope he gets kicked in the head again.
Take that back. Any closing thoughts, guys? I mean, we could talk about
John Jones being fat.
I was gonna say literally John Jones being fat, or just kind of being like Anybody that's advocating for him to make more money with his fight, I just wholeheartedly disagree with.
I think he definitely should make more money, but like, bro, like $50 million, John Jones, like, calm down, bro.
I mean, like, I just want to be realistic about it, man. Like, you were busted for PEDs, cocaine, DUI, hit a pregnant lady, broke her arm. Bro, you don't pull the numbers you think you do.
Yeah, I obviously watch him, but like out of all like the superstars, he's like up there as one of my least favorite ones to tune in. He don't finish fights. I mean, I hate to say it like that because it sounds so casual, but at the end of the day, isn't that what we want? Like when guys are dominant and they're finishing people, isn't it a lot more entertaining? Like, dude, if you were ripping through 205, like, yeah, you were winning fights, but it got to the point where you were just skating by. And then you want us all buy into this narrative that you're going to be this big threat against Francis. Like, dude, I have two eyes.
It's a weird situation because he went to heavyweight with the idea of fighting Brock Lesnar, and then it was fighting Stipe, and then he's like, all right. As soon as literally seconds after Ngannou won, he says, all right, pay me. It's like he just like he's his own worst enemy. He shoot himself in the foot. Yeah, I want you to get paid, but yo, put that down. Put that down.
And we're off YouTube.
Was that Gabby Garcia's OnlyFans, Matt? Be honest.
No, that's her Instagram, so it's okay.
You paying for her fucking OnlyFans?
Would you rather subscribe to Gabby Garcia's OnlyFans or have your dad drag his nutsack across your head?
What do I have to do with the I'll pay for it. I'll pay for it.
All right, dude. Before we actually get kicked off YouTube, what's up? Final thoughts?
No, that's it. I mean, I put our MMA gossip on. I'm gonna start a record for our bets.
Like track your bets, you're saying?
Yeah, like actually do it for like.
Okay, I have the picks. I'll update the picks again, and I'll post it. We can post that.
Word. And send your picks for tomorrow. We'll be posted up early Saturday morning, guys. So you gotta send it to me early. Like,
you want to send it tonight? I might
send it tonight.
I'm gonna send mine tonight because I won't be.
That's fine.
I might sprinkle a Bellator pick in there.
Absolutely, 100%. I'll post
right on brand. Nice shirt, Matt. All right, boys and girls, it's been real. Happy Friday. Let's try to get this out before Bellator's on. We'll see how our predictions come true. We'll see how Bader does. Light heavyweight Grand Prix kicking off. Fights bright and early. That's all she wrote.
Deuces.